Welcome to the Japanese Grand Prix weekend. We love a little bit of Suzuka, and thankfully the sun is shining on us this time around, so we'll be able to hopefully put in a decent performance. We know from past experience what mistakes with setup here. We're hoping to rectify that today. Fingers crossed. Our quali pace is normally alright, but race pace is slow because we've been slow in a straight line because we're running too much downforce for Sector 1. I'm going to try and tweak that, see what we can do to make ourselves more competitive here in Japan, because we have not ever, in 2 seasons at Ferrari and a season in a, well, actually at the time, pretty rubbish house, had a decent finish. Our start to the season here at Mercedes, however, has been pretty good. A P3 in Bahrain. The DNF in Saudi Arabia is null and void because of the BS tyre bug thing. And the P6 in Australia should have been a P if I hadn't run out of fuel 300 metres before the line. Spoilers for the last episode. So do go and check the last episode. It had actually both Saudi and Australia in it. Double episode or double race special. Special, because there wasn't actually 2 full races in it. But today, just the one Grand Prix, Japan. But it's a track we love to drive, even if we're not that quick here. And I tell you who shouldn't be quick here. Red Bull. 8th fastest team now. They've really fallen off. Look at that. Down there with Alpine and Williams, significantly behind Sauber and Haas, and even further behind RB, ourselves, McLaren, Aston Martin, and then Ferrari, who are still levelled off. That V car, supposedly, might not have been a bad car to be in, actually, and was a genuine option, because right now they're not far behind us at all in the R&D. We've fallen a little bit behind McLaren and Aston Martin, but we do still have plenty of upgrades on the way, in the works. The drag reduction is going to be improved for the next Grand Prix in China, which would be great for that really long straight. And we've got 3 items in the works for the chassis, which will then max out our chassis. So our chassis will be as upgraded as we possibly can get it without having 60% recognition. And then the aero isn't far away at all from being maxed out either. Just the rear downforce, couple of unknowns here. That one we might well be able to get with a 50% recognition upgrade. And then obviously the 60% would be needed for anything else. But George can upgrade anything he likes whenever he's got the resource points. We'll try and earn as many as we can in Japan, and we might well be able to upgrade something between the 2 of us in addition to what's already being worked on. Do make sure you drop the video a like to ensure I know that you guys are still enjoying this 4th season of the career mode. We are genuinely so far in the hunt for a world championship, whether that be constructors or drivers. Obviously Ferrari are the team to catch and the Ferrari drivers are the 2 to catch, but because they're both as fast as each other in the Ferrari, means they're taking points off each other. Whereas when I was in the Ferrari, Charles just battered me every week and he won every Grand Prix. That is not the case so far, although he did DNF the first and then won the next 2 with the fastest lap. So we'll wait and see, but Lewis should certainly be challenging Charles Leclerc with 2 podiums and a P4. Last time out should have been a P5. I should have been P4, but it is what it is. Right, Japan. We love Suzuka. Everybody loves Suzuka. It's a proper old school, top quality racing circuit. So let's go do some racing. Practice done and dusted. Resource points acquired. We are faster in a straight line with a tweaked setup, but not necessarily any faster through a lap, which might be slightly deceiving. We might be exactly the same around a lap, but in race conditions, we might well be faster in the more important bits and slower in the less important bits on the way around that lap. So I'm hoping that with the setup we've tweaked, it will be actually still a pretty competitive setup for us. Time will tell, and we'll probably finish the Grand Prix weekend in like 13th, and I'll go, it was the wrong setup, or I needed to take more wing out, or I'm just not very fucking good at Japan. So one of the above is about to happen. Ready? Qualifying. Oh, 26.7. It's probably in the teens. Whoa! We're through, but skin of your teeth stuff. Brrr, Jesus. By 29 milliseconds, we pip Sergio Perez. Ollie Behrman, dead last in his Red Bull. Both Williams out, one of the Alpines, one of the Haas. Max Verstappen, 14th only. That Red Bull really is a dog of a car now. I'm about half a second behind my teammate. Let's have a look at the racer, actually. See where I am with sector times comparatively. 31.3, 38.6, 16.3. 31.3, 31.4, 38.6, 38.9, 16.3. So it's in the middle sector where I'm losing most of my time. Middle sector. Okay. Good knowledge to have, but how to actually find that time in the middle sector, I'm not sure. George with a 25.8. That's so fast. I'm going to do like a low 26, sorry, a 26.3. Fifth. Ooh. I'm still half a second off George, but I've made it to Q3 and I didn't anticipate being able to do that. Max Verstappen is out in his Red Bull. Both Saubers are out, the other Alpine and the other Haas, but we are through, and through with nearly 4 tenths in the pocket as well. 5 tenths off George, and to be fair, a number of drivers didn't go out for a second run. So that's evidently why I'm as high as I am. Anticipating 9th or 10th then in Q3, probably ahead of one or both of the V-carbs. We shall wait and see. 26.2, 9th then, I think. It's my fastest lap of the weekend. 26.2 is not terrible, but that wraps up qualifying. Not great. Oh, wow, they did get into the 24s. Oh, wow. Well, George was only a 25.8, so I was only 4 tenths off my teammate. Yuki did a 25.8. Wow. Oscar didn't go again, so that's the only reason we're not 10th. I mean, that's still probably, almost certainly, significantly more competitive than we've previously been at Japan. We'll see what we can do with race strategy and race pace now that we know we're faster in a straight line. I'm anticipating challenging for some points rather than challenging to not be in the bottom 5. Which is progress in Japan.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our
I don't anticipate any penalties, although we didn't anticipate any penalties previously, did we? In the last episode, there were a couple. Charles is 4.5 tenths faster than even his teammate in the same car. Charles Leclerc is just a step above in this save, isn't he, at the minute? Absolutely ridiculous. Russell and Gasly. Me 9th, starting right behind my teammate, Max Verstappen alongside me. Piastri has taken a penalty, which is obviously why he saved a set of softs and didn't go again in Q3. He starts 15th.
And alongside me today,
we are slightly ahead of both McLarens in the drivers' standings.
Let's aim to keep that momentum going.
Okay. Tyre wear is decent for me. One stop is obviously the favourable. Do I start soft? Sorry, do I start mediums or do I start hards? Well, judging by the fact that absolutely everybody else is on a medium, that says to me, start on medium tyre, Ches, and maybe undercut 1 lap early. My tyre wear is projected to be slightly better, so I can maybe go and pit lap 23 or 24. But everyone will be lapping, everyone else will be pitting 24, 25, 26. That's pretty straightforward. It is a bit of a drinker in Japan, so I will put 95.5 kilos of fuel in, which is 6.7 laps worth of extra fuel, and hope that it's enough and we don't suffer like we did in Australia. But I'll be more aware of it here than I was in Australia. In Oz, I was so laser focused on catching Lewis, completely forgot to check my fuel. So we'll pay attention to that a little bit more so than we did last time in this one, and hopefully move forward. No. We'll find out. Starting on the racing line then for the Japanese Grand Prix, which should be favourable for us.
Superb parking.
Really good
there,
parking
Let's
too.
Make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers.
I'll try. We're all on medium tyres, we know that much, so it's just who gets the better traction. Oh, it's a long hold. Who gets the better traction off the line? And the answer is Max Verstappen, evidently. I had a little hiccup with gearing there. Max is going to sweep through. He and Gasly are very much ramming into each other. Ocon snuck up the inside. They're still fighting with one another there, Verstappen and Gasly. I don't know whether there's any damage to either car. Max might well have lost some front wing after the contact. That was very aggressive from Pierre Gasly, trying to hold it up the inside of the of the Red Bull. My mirrors are full of McLaren. It's Oscar Piastri right behind me. I think actually, judging by the fact that Verstappen is caught up with that group in front and Gasly's fallen off a little bit, it might be Pierre Gasly that's taken some damage there. Let's have a look at the front wing of each of those cars. Gasly has definitely got some front wing damage. There is no left end plate on his car. Max Verstappen does not have any damage. No visible damage anyway. He might have a little bit of side pod considering the speed at which Gasly went into him, but Pierre Gasly is going to struggle. Right, Esteban, either you get past him now, or I try and take you and then I get him. I'm not waiting. Get past him. Come on, use your DRS and get past him. This is race critical, Esteban. It's not going to do it. Man, this is so frustrating. I don't have the confidence in my car to make a move. This is ruining everybody behind Pierre Gasly's race. And Pierre is having a wonderful time. Piastri's got an issue behind us. Wow. So Piastri had a mechanical problem in the last Grand Prix, took a penalty at the beginning of this Grand Prix to try and accommodate for that mechanical fault, and has then gotten either the same mechanical fault or a new mechanical fault in the very next Grand Prix. Sucks to be you right now, Oscar. Sorry, pal. Sucks to be everybody behind Pierre Gasly right now, actually, to be fair. Look at the distance between us and that front train now. Even though we are more competitive and much racier in Japan than we previously have been, our potential top finish is still being ruined by someone else this time rather than me. This one's going to back off a little bit here, I think, through 130R. Is he going to go defensive? No, it's not going too aggressive either. Oh, God damn it. I'm so desperate to get past, I'm just making silly mistakes. Just overtake him, Esteban. Oh, please, please, please. Thank you, Esteban. Now get ahead, stay ahead so I can follow you. It's not going to take me 4 laps to get past, or 3 laps to get past him, I'll tell you that much. I can't imagine the gap to Verstappen and Co now. Nearly double digits, I'd imagine. Good exit here, and I'll try and get Gasly into the hairpin. I've not had a good exit, so I'm not going to try and get Gasly into the hairpin. I want to try and stay with Ocon, but he's disappearing down the road as well. Just shows you how much time we're losing stuck behind Gasly. The fact that Ocon in that Sauber has just disappeared. I'll actually try and tactically stay behind Pierre here to get DRS down the main straight. And then take him, or maybe up the inside into the chicane. That is a lunge, but it's a fair one, it's a legal one, and I've got the DRS. 7 seconds to Max and Co. It's crazy. 2 seconds to Esteban. I need to close that gap.
Behind starting to drop back. There's a gap beginning to form. Let's make the most of it.
Now we find out how fast this car is and or isn't in race trim. This is like the most realistic part of racing, like that can replicate what happens IRL in F1 that we've seen for a while. You think when drivers in... Hang on. Concentrate through sector 1, Ches. In real life, when you see the gaps between drivers just stay basically the same for lap upon lap upon lap, you think, how on earth does that happen? Like, surely you can find a little bit here, a little bit there. I've been between 1.2 and 1.7 seconds behind Esteban Ocon for about 7 or 8 laps. We're both pushing absolutely flat out. The gap to Max has been between 7 and 7.5 for that entire stint as well. We're just so evenly matched that nobody can really make any time on the other. It's crazy how tight the field is at the minute in terms of competitiveness, which again is kind of realistic, really. Because so many teams in real life are within a couple of tenths of each other in outright pace. Little bit of wheel spin on the way out of the final turn. Cost me 2 tenths there. As Saul says in chat, if I do use a power-up, just leave some banana skins on track for him next lap, then maybe we might be able to reel him in. Or a red shell, perhaps. Or what I do for a red shell right now. Or a blue shell to take out one of the Ferrari to cause a safety car. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? Bring on Creator Series Mario Kart. You know damn well that if I get past Esteban, I won't be able to stay ahead of him. He'll just overtake me again. And we'll end up between us losing time on Max Verstappen and those in front. Come on. Max is in no man's land at the minute on his own, which is normally where I am. To be fair, it's where Esteban and ourselves are. Still, only Sainz has been able to get past Pierre Gasly to this point. It's just an F1 24 AI not being aggressive enough to actually make an overtake thing. Which is frustrating, but what can you do?
Okay, well, it wasn't to be this time, but not to worry. There's a long way to go in this race, so let's focus.
There is. There is.
The car behind is dropping back by about 3 tenths a lap. Well done.
This is where the dirty air will really kick in now, especially in the first sector. I'll be careful not to just lose it with lack of downforce behind Esteban. Sainz is boxed behind on lap 17. So Carlos Sainz is switching to a 2-stopper. Either that or he's doing a hell of an undercut. More than likely a 2-stopper for Carlos Sainz. I think he's the only one to do so as well. Will be 1 stopping unless there's some sort of safety car. We have 2 sets of hards we can use, as well as a set of softs that we've saved from qualifying that aren't really going to be worth much unless it's a really late dash under a safety car, or after a safety car, should I say. Almost got a free stop behind though. Ricciardo is now past Gasly as well. Will come out 19th, so between that train and Carlos Sainz, if we were to box now, safe to presume Sainz has gone medium. He has indeed, so he's definitely 2-stopping. We were going to 1-stop on about lap 24 or 5. I might try and dip 22 or 3 and hope that the tyres last. I think that's the only chance we have of maybe catching Max, let alone anybody from Lance Stroll in that train. Come on.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty.
Oh,
for
please
dangerous
get me out
driving
ahead of Ricardo.
onto the track.
Just. Oh, that was race critical. Talk about timing your pit stop to perfection. That is exactly why you need a pit crew to be on it. Because if they mess up there, make any sort of mistake, we drastically fall behind Daniel Ricciardo and then struggle to get past. Now watch the gap over Daniel increase as these fresh hard tyres show us exactly what they've got. 28.7 seconds to Max Verstappen. That's the gap we have to close as much as physically possible before they box on lap 24, 5 or 6. Already 1.3 seconds clear of Daniel. He was right behind me at the beginning of this lap as we came out of the pits. Just shows you how much time we would have lost if we'd have come out behind him and not been able to get past. And what an undercut could be worth. 28.1 to Max. Oh, how Kane was doing, done that, not very good at all. We're going to get relegated. Pretty much nailed on even at this stage of the season, I think. No sign of hope. Even a managerial change wouldn't do anything at the minute, I don't think. Not that we can afford to sack Gary Monk anyway, I probably don't suppose. One of the Ferrari is in.
So, all of our tyre pressure data is currently reading
One of the
0.
Aston Martins, Fernando Alonso, I think.
We're going to guess that it's just a bad sensor. Shouldn't be anything to worry
Max
about.
is still out for now, but he might box here. And he is. Verstappen's in. Undercut's not going to have gotten us much on Max, I don't think. We will overtake Esteban Ocon, I'm pretty sure. But we won't have closed enough on Max.
Ocon stopping now.
That's Max there. Ocon's been dealt with. We've effectively halved the gap to Max. With that undercut. And opened up 5-second gap on Esteban Ocon. So it was worth undercutting at this stage. Just remains to be seen as to whether we have the pace to continually close that gap on Max, or whether the tyres last long enough at the end of the race to keep us still competitive. George is in the box now. We're probably going to have to grind as hard as we possibly can to stand any chance of catching Max here. George went a lap longer and has come out beyond the back of that train now, which is not great for him. My personal fastest lap of the race, but I think again we're just going to be grinding to finish where we are, or maybe one place higher, unless there's a safety car. There is a safety car. I have another set of fresh hards I can go to, which would give me a bit of a tyre advantage at whatever point that safety car comes out. Or if it's really late, we could put a set of softs on, but only if we weren't going to lose too many positions, because the softs wouldn't last long enough to battle past more than a couple of people. Sainz, we know, in P11 right now still has another stop to make. And by going deep at the hairpin, I've just cost myself half a second to Max. So I want to slip my wrists. Sainz is boxing again behind us in P11.
Okay, mate, we've got some clear track in front of us.
We will have
Make the
a
best
free
of it.
stop
So please make this next one a very
to still come
fast
out
lap.
in the points.
And gap to the car in front.
So for a bit of fun at the end of the race, we're going to get 2 points for P9. I could box, go to P10, and then put a set of soft tyres on and try and get the fastest lap of the race to give myself 2 points again. The only risk is that I'm not actually fast enough to take the fastest lap, even with a set of softs on at the end of the race, which is definitely a possibility at the moment. Doing what I can to try and keep Max in touching distance, but we're 5.5 seconds behind and 5.5 seconds in front of the cars around us, so not much is changing right now. Made a couple of mistakes, which is why the gap to Max has grown, unfortunately. But the gap to Esteban is still very much the same. Yuki and Georgia just racing alongside one another, so are Lance and Lando. We've really not paid much attention throughout the course of this stint, for those of you that are watching on YouTube, and obviously there might well not have been many highlights for 10 plus laps or so. Just been reading and chatting to the live chat on Twitch. We've not really been under any threat of catching Max, and under no real threat of being caught by Esteban either. We closed the gap, but we've held it at 3.4. The 29.8 for me is close to my fastest lap. I will box, I think, on lap 49, and we'll try and go for a fastest lap attempt on a fresh set of softs. I'll just double check I've got those softs before I fully commit to that idea, but let me get through sector 1 first. It says this makes a mistake. Come on then, Esteban, close that gap, mate. There you go, 3.3 to 3.1. Wait till I get up and way up towards the hairpin. And let's have a look. Oi, do we have that fresh set of softs? Yes. Making another mistake to another piece of camera, and then Esteban closes me into 2.8. That's effectively what I've been doing, except I've just been talking to chat whilst doing it rather than talking to you guys on YouTube. 2.7 to Esteban now, 27 seconds to Zhou Guanyu. So there's no chance of us dropping out of the points entirely. When we pit next lap, we will still be in 10th, and by a few seconds as well. There's a yellow flag behind.
Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 0.3 seconds.
I think it's too late for the timing of that. Literally nothing's happened in that regard all race. I think it's too late for a safety car. It's the Alpine of Nico Hulkenberg here, I think, dropping it. No? Or is it a Williams? No, I think it's going to be... Oh, wow. Yeah, Gasly's gotten that completely wrong. I've not seen a driver do that before. Seen them spin at Degner 2... Degner? Yeah, Degner 2. And pirouette under the bridge, but to go... To just go, has he still got his old front wing? He's got a new front wing on and everything. I think he's trying to let the Ferrari through, actually. He's just done it very, very badly indeed. He's trying to let the Ferrari lap him. And by doing so, has just gone completely wide at Degner 1. And then bottled it. So that won't be a safety car. It's just going to be...
Just follow the safety car.
Oh my God!
Follow the safety car. Safety car, safety car. No overtaking, reduce your pace. Keep your delta number
in
positive.
We come.
Go, go.
Okay.
Perfect. Turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice
This just took a turn.
Happy with that one.
We've just grinded for 30 laps, and now there's a chance of something different. Potentially. I need to look after these tyres as best as I can. And hopefully we'll be able to get... Hopefully we'll be able to... Oh, yeah. Okay. Hopefully we'll be able to get... Hello, safety car.
Okay, overtake the safety car.
Hopefully we'll be able to get P9 again and do it on the soft tyre. I don't think I'll get fastest lap now, because the Ferrari will have the chance to maybe box themselves, which they've not taken. I don't think anyone's taken the opportunity to box other than myself, but I think I was the only one really that had a even remotely close to free stop because of the gaps. It's going to have to be a very slow safety car period to allow everyone to catch up. I don't even know whether we'll catch up in time. The safety car will have to release everyone by the end of lap 50, by the end of lap 51 at least. So there's 2 laps worth of racing. That's how the game works. So we need to catch everyone first, we might not get the chance to utilise this soft set at all. We might still end up with the attempts for fastest lap and still finish P10. Safety car's come round the hairpin already. It won't be in this lap though. We'll have to do another lap after it's picked up the leader. I think. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Try my best to look after these tyres. Still at 0% all round. Even Max and Yuki haven't caught the safety car yet. Come on, tyres. Don't wear too much, please. Please don't wear too much. It's tough at the minute because I don't want to wear the tyres too much, but equally I don't want the safety car to come in without me having caught the train. One more lap for the safety car, and I'm only halfway through this lap. I don't know if I'm going to catch it, you know. I think the safety car comes in before we catch it, maybe. There'll be no DRS either, so it'll be solely down to battery and tyre wear. Here is the cue.
Okay, let's get ready to go racing again. The safety
Albon
car is in this lap.
All right, Alex Albon's retired.
Remember, no
Behind the safety car, Alex Albon has retired.
Safety car in this lap.
Oh, there's going to be lapped cars to get out of the way and all sorts. This is going to get absolutely calamitous, probably.
Albon for you. Okay,
Oh, I don't need information on Albon. I saw his car destroy itself. Gasly's going to try and get out of the way. Here we go. Green flag racing. I'm going to go for the gap in the middle. That's P9. That's Max. Oh, Ollie Behrman nearly took his teammate out there. That's Carlos Sainz who's trying to let people through. Move, lads!
If you think you can get past, make use of
Jesus Christ, Carlos.
See what you can do.
Well, this just got crazy, didn't it? I told you it would be calamitous. Turned out it was. I think that's all the lapped cars gone. Now then, have these soft tyres got enough in them to help us earn more than a P9? Hello, Max. Just relying on my soft tyres, don't mind me. P8. Well, the safety car has earned us a single position and 2 extra World Championship points if it ends as is. Oh my god, DRS is enabled, but it's the last lap. So no one will have the opportunity to use DRS, apart from the last 20 metres of the race. Can we get Yuki Tsunoda? 1.4 seconds, 1.5 seconds to gap. But we have brand new, fresh, or not brand new, but considerably fresher soft tyres compared to the wear on those hards. 1.2 seconds to gap. Absolutely balked Degner 2. I'm going to be fighting to keep Max behind more so than trying to catch Yuki here, I think. Might just try and push and go, well, I'm not going to get the fastest lap, am I? Not with the way that I took that second Degner. Regardless, we have earned an extra position. So, we'll take it. Thank you, Pierre Gasly, for absolutely ruining your entire Grand Prix on the first lap. Because that cost us anything more than this potential P8. And then just completely killing any chance anyone had of making any other overtakes, really. Because he couldn't figure out how to take a corner and let someone past. Charles Leclerc got the victory. We come home in P8, which is by far our best result in Japan in this save. If we hadn't got stuck behind Gasly, behind Ocon, at the beginning of the race, we could well have finished higher than 8th as well, but...
Well, that was certainly an
I got fastest lap at the end! Way! I did get it! By a couple of tenths. No, by half a tenth. Mine was a 28.520. Charles was a 28.557. By 37 milliseconds, we got an extra point. We got 5 rather than just the 2 that we were going to get had the safety car not come out. Well, it's kind of screw you, Pierre, for ruining our race at the beginning, but then thank you, Pierre, for getting us everything at the end. We probably could have had a top 5 if it weren't for Pierre Gasly at the beginning, but we would have had a top 9 only if it weren't for Pierre Gasly at the end. So, swings and roundabouts. 48% are recognition to George right now. If we can get that to 50, more unlocks become available with the R&D. I do think I have maybe enough resource points to do something on the car between now and the next Grand Prix in China. At least to put it on, or to set it in motion. It won't be finished before China. There might be an upgrade on its way, though, before China that we've previously done. There are perhaps a couple. The tyres are getting done, the floor under tray and the engine cover. We got extra resource points for an ERS fault that I didn't realise we'd had in that Grand Prix. Tyre analytics data passes, resource points added here as a weekly income. Floor passes, engine cover passes.
I know we were expecting some new developments.
So 900 resource points.
I'm afraid to say that some of them have failed quality control.
What can we do?
We're going to need to tell the team what to redevelop.
Oh, that's failed. The Halo failed. What is that going to cost? 258. I can't afford to do both, but I'll do the side pod profile first. That will be done before we get to Miami, and then we'll definitely be able to do that after practice. The chassis is upgraded as far as it'll possibly go. The powertrain is upgraded as far as it'll possibly go. The durability is upgraded as far as it'll possibly go without me being able to get 60% recognition. Once we get 50%, I can do one more on the front downforce and one more on the rear downforce as well once that halo bit has passed. So there's more to be done on the aero side, but the car is peaking at the moment, but he's getting itself closer to those in front. Charles has pulled away at the front of the field. I think Ferrari are going to get the constructors again, don't you? But hopefully Ferrari take enough points off each other as progression goes through the season that maybe there's the chance of a Drivers' Championship this season. We'll aim for the win in China, as we always do. We've had a win and 2 P2s, I think, at China thus far in this save. There's the sprint at China now, which has rain at the end of it, and the main Grand Prix has rain at the end of it. Main Grand Prix basically mirrors the sprint at the top with 79% at the end after a 15% cloudy bit. So what did we do in China in previous years? I'm sure it was P1 the first season. It was, and then P2 and P2. P2 and P5 last season, but then a P2 in Miami and a win in Imola. All right, there might be some good points for us coming up in the next couple of races. I certainly hope so. It's P6 for us currently in the driver's standings. Locked on points with Lance Stroll, only 4 behind Lando, 13 behind my teammate, but we know that China is a good track for us. We know that China is a considerably good track for us. But whether it's a good enough track for us to stand a chance of keeping tabs on those Ferrari, we shall wait and see. But for now, happy enough with that P8 in Japan. It's absolutely the best result we've had all save long there. We know we've made the right decision with the setup so that if we have a car capable of doing something, it will do something at Japan moving forward. I don't think we do a Season 5 in this save, but you never know. We'll wait and see. But for Season 4, that is definitely going to continue. It will be a Sprint Grand Prix in China next time out. Do join me for it. Drop the video a like if you've enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss out on any more. And I will see you in that next Grand Prix weekend. Toodaloo.